we're bringing in all these players. We're bringing in all these guys. Right now, we might have that Sancho situation again because guess Rashford's going to go and do his thing, and I don't care if Rashford does good or does not. Yeah, he's going to go and smash it, and then you're going to have a situation of we've got all these centre backs, we've got all these wing backs, but is this manager still going to be here? If it gets to Ineos get a bit itchy and the fans a bit sad and down, not looking where they're supposed to be looking, sack the manager. That's where it'll come down to. I'm ready to say, it's not about tell. I hope you guys are really understanding. This is not about tell. This is about what it means after. I'm ready to say, I don't care. As long as we don't get relegated, I don't care where we finish. I'm happy. I'll take the wins when they come, but I'm going to accept the losses. But I don't think people are ready to get serious. I don't think people are ready to put the seatbelts on, buckle up and understand we are shit now. We're going to go through some dark times and get to the end of the season. I don't think people are ready to do that.
Well,
and I don't trust Ineos to do that.
What was it like? And I do echo what you're saying there because we have seen it. And to be fair, yesterday, it's creeping in, guys. Because like in the last few games, because we go 1-0 down a lot. We go 1-0 down a lot, or people equalise against us a lot. And I'm telling you, obviously, look, when Man United concede or we're losing, the mood changes. Why wouldn't it? But in recent games, a bit like when we played Rangers, say, KG, wasn't it? We did the match view at the time. They equalised, and there were people being like, Ruben, I don't like that. I don't like you. Or I don't like this. This is getting too much. And then obviously we scored, and then it's fine. And when it was like it yesterday, and I think yesterday, to be fair, it's not to say that he's immune to criticism, because he's not immune to criticism though, in the sense that
fine. You know,
we did the experiment with Kobe yesterday. All right, cool, it didn't work. You would maybe say, I get it. Xerxes and Højlund, when they came on, they didn't change the game. Could you have done it earlier? Yeah, you probably should have done it earlier. All right, cool. That criticism's allowed without wanting him to get sacked.
Yeah,
I think again,
absolutely.
when we talk about these conversations, we need to be maturity, but we need to be mature enough as a fan base to be able to have those conversations of he's got that wrong. I know he's got,
and that's
really
game by game. That's even 90
yeah.
minutes. Everyone gets a rating.
Exactly.
Everyone's decisions gets judged. Like the manager, the players, the flipping. I remember we was cussing the physios one time when someone Delit had a bleeding head and they couldn't stop the bleed 3 times over, and we can see like everyone can get criticised within the 90 minutes. And I think yesterday was probably one of the obvious ones since Ruben's been here of like, okay, you tried that. That didn't work. Because I heard he gave his reasons beforehand saying they play the same system as us. So basically we have to try something different. We have to try catch them off guard.
It's adapting to the opposition.
But how come? How do we accept when Man City can say we've got no Rodri, so we're going to struggle, and they've literally fallen off. They've fallen off a cliff. And
no,
it's like,
the reason why
Rodri.
You can do that is because they're treble winners. It's as simple as
that. I understand. But I understand that. But no, guess what? I'm saying, okay, if you use that, so we're looking at Man City's problems and saying, no, Rodri, look at them. Yeah, this team has been bad before. This team was bad with the other guy. Yeah, we've been shit for so long, and the new guys come in, and you're saying, fix it, please. Somehow he's got to wave a magic wand and get a tune out of players that the other guy couldn't get a tune out of, and he's worked with them before.
Well, that's where, KG. This is my point earlier on, which is that then I think now the eyes do turn to Ineos and the Glazers and say, right, now, if there was ever a time to hold your nerve, it is now. And if you're going to say that we're not going to panic, because you can't go, we're not going to panic about transfers, but we are going to panic about the manager. They don't go, that shouldn't work like that. So you either basically, overall, you don't panic with transfers and with the manager, or you do panic and you buy a load of players and then you sack the manager because you've set the precedent that you will panic.
I know we can't trust. I know the thing about the trust, and we can't just like, you know what I mean, as they say, jump into bed with Ineos and say, oh yeah, this that. I think he won't get sacked. He won't get sacked because we are now into February, and like you said, guys, we're 13th. And the teams around us, I mean, 9th position, which at the time was Brighton when they played us, and they spanked us. Yeah. So that basically shows you can't get above the Brighton 10th now, even they've dropped a place. Like, we can't go above.
Well, Palace were 12th yesterday when we played.
Palace
you know what I mean?
So that shows us, the teams below us, we're what, 12 points from safeties, and that will be enough buffer. We're not going to go down. We won't go down. So I think it makes it almost easier for Ineos to be like, well, we haven't even had a summer window with this manager. Like we haven't got the players out. We haven't got some serious players in. He hasn't even had a pre-season. And guess what, guys? Money and PSR. Let's be real. Let's be really, really real. Like even if they wanted to find the resources to do that, I think it's pretty safe. Like he's not going to get sacked. And I get worried as well. I'm like, I'll tell you if you keep losing, though, I'll tell you what. Oh fucking hell. Unless it's relegation.
I'm ready. Yeah, that's the only relegation.
Has it this, and this is maybe the interesting thing with it, and maybe this is where people will look back on the decision of when they brought him in and the options that they did have at the time. Do you think with us being this bad and him switching to the system mid-season, do you think that has kind of hurt his reputation, like with the fans, with the players? You know, that just that little bit of that
Amorim.
Ruben Amorim's, that little bit of like belief. And if you knew that you couldn't spend in January, if you knew that, then would it have been worth saying to Ruud van Nistelrooy, actually, mate, take us to the end of the season and then Ruben, you can come in? Because like you said earlier on, Flex, if Ruben could foresee these issues of, well, if I come in mid-season, I'm going to have these players, they're not going to be able to adapt to how I play. You're telling me now you don't have the money to spend in January, so we can't go out and really fix that. Is this a really good timing to do this? Would it be better for Ruud to take us to the end of the season because the season is a write-off?
I would love to say
Amorim
yes.
comes, and then Amorim comes in and has.
I would love to say yes, but we don't.
Or is it better? Or is it better to do that now? Or again, what was the agreement when he came in? Were all of these things on the table of, look, this is going to be rough?
Wouldn't have been, don't worry if it's 14.
You know what I mean? And don't exactly.
Exactly.
Listen, and that's where I go. Has that hurt the perception of him a little bit?
Yeah, it has.
Guys, I can take, I don't care, 17th, 16th, 15th. Like, I'm supporting the team. I'm with the team, and it is what it is. I know some people are not comfortable to hear numbers like that, but guess what? This is the situation we find ourselves in. We're going to get some wins, and there's going to wins and losses. That's what our thing's going to look like. We are a true mid-table side. You know how these bottom teams be like, are we going to get 3 points today? Are we going to get anything for the game? That's what we've become. Yeah. And this is what it's going to be until this overhaul happens. Now, even if you're like, it might get to the stage where some people are like, well, I'm pissed off, get rid of the manager. Guess what, guys? If you're talking about saving money and stuff, we're still paying managers. We couldn't even afford to get rid of this manager if we wanted to. And then, we're still paying Ten Hag. But not only that, we're talking about, you're talking about the signings that we brought in. You're going to put yourself in a similar incident. We've just bought Xerxes for Ten Hag's system, apparently. It's not working. We bought Rasmus Højlund for Ten Hag's system. It's not working. So now you've got these two young players there's an outlay, like it or not. There's been a significant outlay. That's to the sum of 110 million or something. That's just on them. Is that wise? Was that being wise spending when you now say they're on the bench and you start a guy that was the 6 ahead of them? There's so much. Man United need to commit to someone and say, we are in this for the long haul.